I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day. Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in. Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Friday. It means we're brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. About the work week in the rearview mirror. Hope you're done. If not, we'll get you to the finish line here. Got Jordan Kitchens and the birthday girl, Cassie Spazzali, back there on the ones and twos. Plenty to do here on the next 2 hours. Preston Guy, TigerBait.com with us in 15 minutes. We'll do a little bit more Lane Kiffin sound from back on Wednesday. I haven't quite gotten through all of that. Want to touch on that a little bit. I got prop bets for the Super Bowl coming up. I've also got a pick for the Super Bowl. We'll preview center field. You've probably heard of that guy for LSU coming up a week from today. Opening day at the box. LSU will play Georgia coming up tomorrow in the PMAC. So plenty to do. Let's crank it up with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
So yesterday, I misspoke. We were talking about the Saints and the celebration of Drew Brees very likely being elected to Pro Football's Hall of Fame, right? And that ended up happening. But yesterday was just kind of the precursor to it. And I said, Saints fans, rejoice when Drew gets that call. And I know that you're looking for the next Drew Brees, but enjoy what was as you feel like you've got some confidence in Tyler Shuck. And right there, I stepped out of bounds. Because, yes, the 49ers had Joe Montana and went to Steve Young, and the Super Bowls continued. And the Packers had Brett Favre, and they went to Aaron Rodgers, and they backed up Hall of Fame quarterbacks. The Colts had such a great run with Peyton Manning, and Andrew Luck fell right into their lap. We know about Tom Brady in New England, and New England's right back in the Super Bowl with Drake May, and they've got a lot of confidence. You always want to find the next franchise quarterback. I should not have tried to say the Saints are looking for their next Drew Brees, because let's make no mistake about this. There will never be another Drew Brees. Never. The Saints may have a quarterback that's better than Drew Brees. I wouldn't bet on it, but it's possible. There will never be another Drew Brees. You know the story. You know what happened. But it's worth just kind of going through once again now that he's become a first ballot Hall of Famer, the first in the history of the franchise. But this is a guy who played 5 years in San Diego. And then entering his free agency, suffers a brutal injury. That is a nightmare for a professional athlete. And then he wants to test the market and he goes to Miami. Nick Saban's there. Got a chance for a fresh start with a hotshot young coach. And they fail his medical. He's out of options. This guy nobody's ever heard of, Sean Payton, calls, says, hey, come to New Orleans. Sean Payton knows on this visit to New Orleans that he's going to have to protect Drew Brees from what this entire city looks like. And unfortunately, turns out, fortunately, he got lost. Didn't have the iPhone on the ready. Ended up where he did not want to be. And Drew Brees saw with his own eyes what you all know was there in 2005, 2006. It was a wreck. And Sean Payton stopped, and he just basically broke down and said, look, this is about bigger things than football. This is where you need to be. I'm where I need to be. Let's do this together. In 197 days after Katrina wrecked that city, one of the greatest cities in this nation, Drew Brees signed with the Saints on March 14th, 2006. And he didn't save New Orleans. Drew Brees and Sean Payton did not save New Orleans. The people of New Orleans went back, rebuilt, and got back to work and brought that city back to life. But the Saints helped. And Drew Brees and Sean Payton were the singular driving forces behind that. I mean, look at the landscape of the world right now. Look at the scape of the country right now and how divisive things can be in certain places. But man, look at that city when the Saints are humming. Most of you have been there. The two people that are sitting behind those two desks right there are from that city and have been there. When the Saints are good, it's a different place down there. And at that point, New Orleans needed it. They needed it. They didn't have to have it. They needed it. And it was delivered. 313 days after Drew Brees signed with New Orleans in a city that was rubble, the Saints played for the NFC title. 313 days. Now, we know the rest of that story. And 3 years later, the Saints hoist the Lombardi Trophy for the first time in franchise history. And I could sit there and read you the Pro Football Reference page of all of Drew Brees' stats and records and accomplishments and all that stuff. You already know it all. But the important thing is that you realize that there will never be another set of circumstances just like that in a story that unfolds like that. It's like a movie that we sat here and watched with our own eyes. Now, I don't ever try to hide this. I'm not in the foxhole with you Saints fans every single Sunday. I'm not going to fake that. I would prefer the Saints win. I'm not throwing on my black and gold jersey. If it's the third quarter and it's a one-score game and Myers wants to go outside and throw the football or go down the slide, I'm going to go do that. I'm not in the foxhole. But I'm a lifelong resident of this state. I've now lived in Baton Rouge in South Louisiana longer than I have North Louisiana, but I've never left this state. I'm never leaving this state. And while I love my childhood in Shreveport and I will raise my family in Baton Rouge, I understand the significance of that city to this state. It is the heartbeat. And I love that city. And that city, when I was a senior in high school, underwent something that I don't think any of New Orleans was prepared for. I didn't have a great feel for it up in Shreveport as an 18-year-old. I do now. But what Drew Brees meant at that point and what he delivered for the next decade and a half is never going to happen again in that order. And so, I want to take that whole story instead of just the Monday night where he sets the touchdowns record or the yardage record. I want to take the entirety of the story and just appreciate the serendipity and success that came out of it. I spent some time in New Orleans when I started in the insurance business. I was working for an agency in New Orleans, and I was there 5 days a week. And I didn't quite grasp just how different it was than Baton Rouge until I spent time there. Like, you walk around this town, it's a lot of purple and gold. I fit right in there. I didn't realize there's not as much purple and gold. The black and gold is everywhere. The Saints mean a lot to that city. And for Drew to elevate the franchise the way that he did at that point is just amazing. And this is the personal side of it, because I'm not a New Orleans resident, I'm not a New Orleans native, and I'm not a diehard Saints fan. But I do think that the second half of my life personally will involve the Saints much more than the first half of my life did. I grew up in a household of a Cowboy fan from the 60s, and the Saints were kind of on, and it just wasn't a big deal. And I moved down here, and the Saints became a bigger deal because I have a lot more friends from South Louisiana. And now I've got a wife who's from New Orleans and the North Shore. that loves the black and gold. And I've got at least one boy who's eaten up with sports and is obsessed with football. Now, all he knows right now are the Tigers, and if he sees the Saints on TV, he knows to say, "Who dat?" But the Superdome was 6 hours from my house when I was growing up. It's an hour and 10 minutes now. And I feel like there's a really good chance that my kids and my wife will spend some time in the Superdome pulling for the Saints. And I'm looking very much forward to that. And I hope that great things happen. And I hope that Tyler Shuck wins more Super Bowls than Drew Brees did, plays in more Super Bowls than Drew Brees did. That will not make Tyler Shuck the next Drew Brees. I will tell my kids, this guy took a franchise that was a complete joke in a city that was in despair and created greatness and happiness and an experience that I'll remember from my college days forever. I was in that city when they won the Super Bowl. I was at F&M's. They stopped charging for drinks, just handing them out. It was fun. That's Drew Brees' legacy in New Orleans. It's not every record, every yard. It's not leading the Who Dat chant. It's not that he's going into the Saints Hall of Fame. It's not even really that he's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The Saints have had all that before. But the set of circumstances that showed up between Katrina, that first NFC Championship game, and winning the Super Bowl, that is the Drew Brees story. And yesterday I just grossly misspoke when I said you were trying to find the next one. There is no next one. But you're fortunate to have had the one. And I think hearing Drew talk about his relationship with the city of New Orleans was so powerful last night. And I'm glad that I got to see it in some ways, watching on TV and then towards the end of his career getting down to the Dome and seeing a little bit of it. Just as a football fan, watching that guy sling it was something special. He's a surgeon back behind the line of scrimmage. But the impact he had on that city, I don't know that it's truly measurable at this point. And it's well-deserved that he goes in on the first ballot, first one in the history of the New Orleans Saints. That was long-winded, Jordan. You listened to it. It's all you ever knew growing up. You don't know the pre-Brees Saints. But how'd you feel last night and about what I had to say there?
I think it's beautiful. I actually think it's really beautiful where you came from, knowing that you're from Shreveport, and I've been to Shreveport up there, and there's a lot of Cowboys fans. You would think you are in Dallas, Texas, so it really does mean a lot to see that, you know, you're accepting that. Well, I didn't say you're accepting, but you understand the impact that it has and what it does to just the people. Because, again, we were in shambles. The city was underwater, and this guy literally had. Well, I guess you want to say the Dolphins kind of, you know, threw him to the side a little bit. They
took Culpepper.
Yeah,
like his
so I guess you could say that, but still, he came to a city in shambles and rubble and just believed. Sean Payton threw him a vision, and they just believed, and you saw what it became. It just breaks my heart seeing how the story ended towards the end. Yeah. You know, just especially the Tom Brady. That I just will never get that taste out of my mouth. But just still the impact he had, and just how many people he inspired, really, though. How many people he inspired, especially the kids, knowing that it's possible that you can go from a joke to actually being legit. So, shout out Drew Brees, man. It means a lot, man. Brees is Christ.
That's him. And I just got a text from my wife, said I can't wait to take Myers to the Saints games and make him a bigger Saints fan than an LSU fan. And that is how you ruin the segment by saying something like that. Because that isn't going to happen.
Two worlds. Look. You can't.
It's 2 different days of the week.
You can't
it's
separate
Saturday
the two.
and Sunday.
Come on, exactly. You can't separate the two. They go together. It's like PB&J. Saints and LSU fan.
Speaking of LSU, let's talk to Preston Guy next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci. Go check him out at Marucci. It's youth baseball season. It's youth softball season. Take the team and team building exercise. Go see Marucci. Go see where they make the official bat of Major League Baseball. They make 1,200 of them a day. It started 22 years ago. They were making just a couple in the shed in the backyard. Now, they're making over 1,000 a day. They're shipping them out to the best players in the world. It is the official bat of Major League Baseball, and you can go check out where they make them. Grab one of those bats. Get in the cage. Take those softball players. Take those baseball players. Just maybe the couple that are in your house. Maybe the whole team. Maybe just you and the family. It's an awesome experience over there at Marucci, and truly a gem that we've got here in the capital city. Go to MarucciSports.com/campus-tour. It's MarucciSports.com /campus-tour. You can book those tours. It comes with a 20% discount in the Hitter's House as well. So take advantage of that over at Marucci. Book those tours at maruccisports.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Tarina. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
It's 2026 and you're thinking about your future. College, workforce, tech school? This could help clear it up for you. According to a 2025 Georgetown University study, ITI Technical College ranked as the #1 college in all of Louisiana for return on investment. So the better return on your dollar for your education begins here. Call us or visit us online to start your new career or to get the life that you've always wanted for your family. ITI Technical College. We're in the better life business.
Lockmeyer, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmeyer, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
When you can't rely on technology.
You're listening to The Hun Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Friday show is brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Want a po' boy for lunch? Swing on into Corks. Grab one of those shrimp po' boys, jumbo golden gulf shrimp. You can also get those crispy shoestring fries, fully dressed. Go see them. Government between Foster and Jefferson. The menu's online at corksfishandshrimp.com. Preston Guy, TigerBait.com, with us on Fridays talking LSU football. Preston, how we doing?
Hunt, how's it going, man?
Quite well. We heard from Lane Kiffin for the first time in guess that would be 2 months. What'd you learn on Wednesday?
Well, I kind of confirmed the big question, I guess, was what was Sam Levitt going to look like during spring, and to kind of see a game plan where he'll participate in a kind of a 7-7 capacity. But it'll give you a good chance to get a look at that backup quarterback battle. Of course, Huson Longstreet's going to be, the big favorite there. But don't sleep on Landon Clark. I mean, he's got some talent. He can scoot around, and both these guys are young players with very, very strong arms and very good legs. So outside of that, it just was fun to hear him elaborate a little bit about LSU and certainly kind of confirm a lot of what he said in the presentation about what makes LSU, in his words, just different, I didn't think there was necessarily anything monumental. I probably would have preferred this press conference say like when 3 days after the portal closed, rather than on signing day where you had, I think it was 2 players that they officially signed for signing day. Would have had a little more excitement there, but at least we're getting some clarity on the team and where they stand and what his strategy was working the portal this whole time.
Do you feel any differently about Lane Kiffin today than you did on December 2nd when he took the podium?
Yeah, I do, because I spent a lot of time talking to Ole Miss insiders from early on in this process and before the sour grapes came in with these Ole Miss people. And they didn't really revere him too well as a recruiter. And all I have seen is just a Nick Saban, Ed Ogeron, pit bull mentality on the recruiting trail. I mean, showing up to Knoxville, showing up to Atlanta to get these kids, 3 of the top 5 in the portal. And now reports are coming out that LSU wasn't even the biggest spender in the portal. Certainly LSU was big, but it looks like, money and a combination of tenacious recruiting, hyped up coaching staff, and LSU being the program it is with the resources of local ties and a fairly top 10 brand on its own without those local 10, is doing a lot of work. I'll say this, the other negative scuttlebutt I got out of the Ole Miss camp was game management. I mean, there's people in Oxford who legitimately believe Lane Kiffin loses that game to Georgia in the semifinal because, they were grumbling about his crucial decision-making and going forward on 4th. So that part, that criticism I got is yet to be resolved, yet to be seen. They really do feel like in Oxford that the emergence of NIL and the emergence of Lane Kiffin's success there are no coincidence. Hard to tell because he got there in 2020 and NIL got there in 2021. We'll see at the game management part, but so far, the recruiting, I mean, he's a very tenacious recruiter, just honest feedback there.
I talked about this on my show yesterday that we don't know LSU Lane Kiffin yet. Like, we've seen Lane Kiffin for over a decade. We have a general feel for him, but like, as far as what he is at LSU, we haven't seen it yet. But I'm curious if you feel like he will change in any way operating at LSU as opposed to Ole Miss, if he views the 2 jobs differently.
Yeah, well, I think strategically, I don't know if he's going to change who he is as a person. He might start talking about how stadium size actually matters a good bit more, and they really talked about that much at Ole Miss. I will say this, it was hilarious when they asked him at Ole Miss what his ideal job is, and he basically described LSU on the podium. I guess that should have been a dead giveaway as to what was about to happen, but I would argue his recruiting strategy will probably shift a good bit, and he mentioned this in his press conference, where he's probably going to go after high school kids and probably invest some money. I think this coaching staff is very much aware. They have their fingers on the pulse of the fans, right? They're on social media. They're posting Boosie songs. They're posting neck lyrics. They are not just coaching the football team. They are wanting to assimilate and be one with the culture here, right? And I think part of that is having your pulse on social media and seeing how is the fan base going to react when the 5-star kid from up the road goes to Ohio State, right? And I think that they're going to shift and put a little more money into the high school level than they did at Oxford because, frankly, they can get these kids and ideally lock them in a little bit longer. And they understand that Louisiana talent has been the backbone of multiple championships here at LSU. It certainly hadn't been coaching consistency or administrative, organization. It's been, oh boy, that guy Jamar Chase, 60 miles from campus. He's pretty darn good. I mean, you got the best 2 wide receivers in the NFL who grew up within an hour of campus. Like, yeah, get those guys and get them on campus. I think he's going to invest a little more in the high school than he did at Ole Miss, where he relied heavily on the portal.
Let's drill down on that. I just scribbled down a bunch of notes on my paper, and these just popped to the top of my head in the last 40 seconds. But, like, of the high school kids, Louisiana kids end up at LSU. Tyree Adams, Lance Hurd, Teron Francis, Walker Howard, Deshaun Spears got in the portal and jumped out after an hour. Like, how do you feel about relying on high school kids who have shown, like, hey, if I don't play for a year or 2, I'm out of here?
I feel like whoever did DeMond Williams' contract, you need to get that multi-year structure in place. You know what I mean? I think that's, I mean, in the NFL, you don't see guys leaving after a year because guess what their flipping contract says? You know what I mean? Like, you gotta structure that out if you're paying these kids. And then there's the other hand of what if they're not developing at the rate you want, because you do have to develop these kids. That's the other big part of this. But I think there's a lot to be said for retention. I think retention is going to be very important. There are teams winning football games who don't rely on the portal every single year. Certainly Indiana did. Certainly Ole Miss did this year. Certainly Miami has. But Ohio State, most of that was high school talent. They added about 15 players from the portal, which is a supplement. I think the days of single-digit portal guys, those are gone. You need to go to the portal every year, but hey, how about develop, retain, keep these guys happy, keep the energy good, and build off of that, And by the way, I think they went in the portal and got young guys. That's a big point of this portal class they pulled in. They pulled in young players with the intent to develop. They didn't bring Hassan Longstreet in to be a one-year assassin. So I don't know what his deal is, but I hope it's multi-years.
Yeah, and I think I wrote a piece about that. It was very interesting because there were only 6, I think, that are out of eligibility after this year of the 43 that they pulled in.
Wow.
It's a very, very small number. The question is, can you keep them around? And the answer oftentimes lies in two things, winning and money. We think LSU has the money. The question is, are they going to do the winning? It's early, but how do you feel about that aspect of it for year one?
I'll throw in culture as well. Yeah. I mean, just a culture people want to be around, We'll see on winning. I think money, they're pretty good. It's just, about, when a guy is stepping up into a starting role. I mean, there's going to be other schools who look at this guy as I need a starting safety next year. I'm going to throw you starting safety money. Are you also willing to pay starting safety money? It's the same thing with, any employee at any job. Everybody gets an entry-level job somewhere, and they get entry-level money. Well, after a year and a half, you're no longer entry-level. You're now, entering mid-career, and someone's going to be willing to pay you that. So if you're not willing to give a pay raise to the guy on your payroll who's at the entry level, you're going to lose him because someone's going to pay him money. You know what I mean? The same concept applies here. I think they're in good position. We'll see how culture and winning plays out. That's the thing. I think this team, based off of what I see right now, spring's going to be very eye-opening. I mean, I'm one of the few people who actually is excited to go to spring practice every year. I'm very excited to see what it is this year. But we'll get a better look as to whether they win games. I think on the surface, this is going to be a team that can contend and can beat anybody, but you also got 4 teams that are going to be top 10 teams. You could be the 8th best team in the country and go 9-3 or 8-4 even next year. That's on the table, right? So we'll just see how all that unfolds.
I would echo your thoughts on spring football this year. My question becomes, how much are we going to get to see? Because he did not let the Ole Miss gaggle in very, very often. So that may be tough on our end, but I don't think anybody's crying for us.
I don't even know if he's doing a coaching radio show at this point. Who knows? Hopefully we don't get treated worse than the Les Miles era where we got one practice and then, all right, y'all are done for camp.
Yep. Generally speaking, if an injury happened, we got an email. All right, y'all are done. See y'all for media day. That's generally
or poor Jordy Collada, accidentally tweets out about Miles Brennan one day. Whoops.
You're on. All right, I got a Super Bowl pick before we let you go.
No, I don't. I have no idea, man. I mean, look, look, all the LSU guys for the Patriots, that would be awesome to see Will Campbell and Caleb Chason and Boutte do their thing, especially guys who are good players, didn't necessarily win at the level they should have at LSU, right? But, man, that Sam Darnold story is special. And then, a guy was completely wrote off. Turns out, and not just for the Jets, because everybody sucks for the Jets, but, guy couldn't make it anywhere and finds a place in Minnesota, comes back, does his thing, and now he's in a flipping Super Bowl. Boy, it's two great stories. I think it's about dead even I think this is a even match, which means someone's getting blown out because, that's usually how it goes.
Enjoy the football on Sunday. Thanks, man.
All right, see you soon.
Preston Guy, TigerBait.com with us on Fridays. Friday show is brought to you by Corks. Come back. We'll hear a little bit more of that Lane Kiffin sound. We'll stick with the LSU football next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
How about Fabry Chevrolet GMC? You're looking for a truck? This is the month to do it. February is the month to do it over at Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville. Chevy Silverados up to $1,100 off MSRP or 1.9 APR financing. Looking for a GMC Sierra, gorgeous truck, up to $13,000 off of MSRP, 0.0 APR financing. That is a goose egg. If you're looking for a truck, no better spot to be than St. Francisville on Highway 61 with Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You know the Fabry family, been in business in Baton Rouge for 35 years. 3 locations, 5 brands. That includes now Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You can find the entire inventory, including those deals, online at fabrychevrolet.com or go by and see them this weekend on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC at fabrychevrolet.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Shout out to the folks at Lifetime Roofing. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is the website. As of January 1st, they are so thrilled to offer you a warranty that includes both workmanship and materials for life. That's the deal at Lifetime Roofing. That warranty backed by Certainteed, one of the oldest and most trusted names in building materials. So if you're looking for a new roof, Lifetime Roofing give you that lifetime warranty. They're also thrilled that they can do professional installation of gutters. So if you're looking to put gutters on your home, Lifetime Roofing can do it. Looking to do windows and siding, Lifetime Roofing can do it as well. Obviously, a big event last week, weather-wise, in our state. If you're looking to see if you have roof damage, Lifetime Roofing is happy to come out and do that inspection. Maybe they can repair it. Maybe it's time for a new roof. Maybe it's all good. They'll let you know. You can trust the folks at Lifetime Roofing. They're a community roofing company. They're based right here in Baton Rouge, can help you out over in New Orleans, over in Lafayette. They've got a growing team. It's a wonderful group of people, and we're thrilled to represent Lifetime Roofing here. You can find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com. Get that lifetime workmanship warranty at lifetimeroofingla.com. All right, we're going to spend $100 on bets in our next segment. We're going to do that. I'm going to get you paid. I am atrocious at picking SEC football games. This is proven. We've seen it too many times.
Yeah.
I'm actually decent on the Super Bowl. I have won the last 2 years on the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. I mean, you said $100 real confident, so you're not just wasting $100.
I'm going to spend the $100 on 4 different bets, and all of them can pay you back if any of them hit. We'll talk about them in the next segment.
Gotcha.
Love to see it. I'm sure they just put a lot of props up there on Live at Lunch earlier today. Incidentally, over at LouisianaSports.net, if you're looking for kind of some guidance on what to play for the Super Bowl on Sunday, want to just drop $20 in, drop $50 in, drop $200 in, whatever you're trying to do on the Super Bowl. We'll have a Otter Locks for the Super Bowl posted on Sunday over at LouisianaSports.net for free, so you can check out all of those bets. Right now, let's talk a little LSU football. Lane Kiffin met with media on Wednesday. Haven't gotten through all of it. Like, when a coach doesn't meet with the media for 2 months, there's a lot of things to cover. And we aired his press conference. It was at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, so we aired it for the first 25 minutes here on, and I just kind of talked about some of the things that he said, but I didn't have the sound because he was literally still talking while we were on the air. So now we have the sound, and I want to kind of put a little bit more together about what he said about quarterbacks. Let's start with number 2, Jordan, and how the quarterbacks are going to be handled in the spring.
Sam will be able to throw some and participate in 7-on-7 stuff in the spring, probably not the team stuff. And so I think it was, regardless, we would have done what we did, but it's also imperative to get quarterbacks, because that's going to be a lot of how your spring ball goes, which is your first time of your team feeling an offense. And our offense is very much pushed and driven by the quarterback because of the tempo piece of it. So
that's an important deal. And the tempo is something that you've got to get used to. And we've seen Lane Kiffin teams go hyper fast, especially when the ball's moving. I was watching a highlight tape of Winnie Watkins, who's transferred from Ole Miss to LSU, and he made some big plays this year. He didn't make a lot of plays because he was a little bit down on the depth chart, but he made some big plays this year. Made big plays at Oklahoma, made a big play against Tulane. He's made some big plays, and he's trained like the other wide receivers have been at Ole Miss and like they will be at LSU. You make that big play, you pop up right off the ground, you put the ball on the hash and help the official spot it, and we're getting lined up and we're going. And it's something that like you can learn the reads. That's not going to be completely new to Sam Leavitt or Huson Longstreet or really Landon Clark. Like, playing football, it's about, at the quarterback spot, it's about leverage, it's about anticipation, about understanding coverages, and there are only so many coverages and so many route combinations you can have. So I'm sure there will be something new, but that part of it is something that they're familiar with. It's the speed with which you have to operate that is important, and Leavitt will miss out on some of that, but Longstreet and Clark will get that, and I think that was part of the draw to get them to campus here, is that, hey, you're going to have a spring where you're going to get a lot of reps. And Kiffin talked about those two guys choosing to come in when you realize that Sam Leavitt is the very, very, very likely starter.
The other two guys, very talented players, and I think that's really, maybe as anywhere, the thing I'm most proud of from our GM to our personnel to our coaches department, of being able to do that at the quarterback position, of 3 guys that I think are really talented, different styles of players. And so for them, and it says a lot about them to come to the same place. But nowadays, a lot of guys don't want to do that. They want to go to where, okay, I'm guaranteed I'm going to start. And so I think it says a lot about their competitiveness.
I actually, look, whenever I go to say something like this, I put myself in the listener's shoe, and I can see you rolling your eyes at me when I disagree with Lane Kiffin about a quarterback. You're like, what would possibly give you the credential to disagree with Lane Kiffin about a quarterback? He's been a very successful football coach and play caller for 20 years, and you sit behind a microphone for 2 hours. What possibly could you disagree about? I understand that part of it. This is my observation in watching the highlights of these 3 guys. I don't find them to be like wildly different players. Like, they're all, I mean, Leavitt and Longstreet are taller than Clark, but they're not outliers from a size perspective. They're not big. I don't know that any of them are going to run a 4.3 40, and none of them are a 5 flat 40. They've got good athleticism, good arms, and their average height. I think that they're all three have very much are capable of running the ball. Levitt's done that a lot at Arizona State. Longstreet is very quick on his feet. He ran for 2 touchdowns for USC last year, and Clark ran all over the place at Elon. So, like, they're all very much able to use their legs to gain yards and to extend plays. Longstreet and Levitt are more physically gifted. You would imagine that. They're the first and second team quarterbacks. They're the guys who are Power 5 players, and Clark comes in from Elon. But he said they were all very different players, and maybe they are. Like, he knows more than I do, but I do sense that they all share some traits. And I think that's a reasonable thing to draw from. And I think they share traits with Matt Corral, with Jackson Dart, in some ways to Trinidad Chambliss. Like, they do have some of that. There's no Zach Mettenberger in the mold. There's no Jaden Daniels in the mold. They're fairly similar players, and I would put their upside right there with Dart. And I think, probably not Clark. He's a lower level player, but I think these guys can share an offense is what I'm trying to say, and I think they will. And Kiffin talked about how pleased he is with the room as a whole, realizing that when he showed up, it was empty.
Really pleased about what we were able to do there because, again, like I talked about, I think a huge key is, how do you put together the whole roster in this world that's in outlet? There's a salary that's involved. And so I think one of the mistakes that's been made over time is people focus so top heavy that they go get these top players, but then they don't really do a good job of necessarily having really good evaluations of the 2s and the 3s that make your program better by how you practice, but also eventually play at times. I think the previous place you're at, there's a really good quarterback story that wasn't even there this time a year ago, and then our evaluation process of always grinding, always trying to find players, find a quarterback that doesn't come until the summer in the second window, and that story is what it is. So that's why as you look at this, I thought this was really critical what we did here, the quarterback position.
I agree with the first part of that 100%. Like, you have to allocate funds to the bottom of your roster and make sure that it doesn't fall off a cliff after you pay the first 20 guys. Like, absolutely. You have to do that. And that's very, very important. Trying to draw parallels to Trinidad Chambliss, I think, is dangerous because it's like I talked about when they signed Landon Clark as the first quarterback. I was like, if you want to be an LSU fan and go, well, look what he did with Trinidad Chambliss, he'll go ahead and do that with this guy. Or if you were thinking before they signed any quarterbacks, or when Sam Levitt left town and didn't commit, excuse me, and you were like, well, okay, they didn't get Levitt. Who cares? He just won with a D3 quarterback. Just get anybody. That's dangerous. Chambliss is an exception, not a rule, and it's a credit to Lane Kiffin to find him and help develop him and put him in position to succeed, but it's not something I want to rely on. I would rather rely on 4- and 5-star quarterbacks and Power 4 transfers than I would, well, just grab somebody from the D3 ranks, he'll be like Chambliss. That is where I completely draw the line. And not that Lane said that to a T, but he was suggesting we trust our evaluation and we think we did a good job filling out the second and third teams of our rosters. And I certainly do agree with that. So I believe LSU, as I've said many times, did as good a job in the transfer portal with quarterbacks as was possible in these circumstances. It's just very difficult to get 2 guys to sign up to sit on the bench. And they got 2 guys to sign up to sit on the bench. And in this era, at that position, that's really tough. So huge credit to Lane Kiffin. I feel good about Sam Levitt's return from that injury. I can't swear to it because I'm not a doctor nor Sam Levitt. But in the event that Levitt is a little bit hampered or a little bit hobbled or a little bit slow to return, I feel like you've done as well as you could with Longstreet and Clark of trying to fortify that quarterback room. And we'll see kind of how it shakes out moving forward into the spring and fall. All right, let's make you some money on Super Bowl props. I got them next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust started up in 1910. 116 years later, still humming and growing. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. No matter where you are in Southeast Louisiana, you'll find a First American Bank and Trust. And you'll find a warm, welcoming, community-based staff right there in First American Bank and Trust. Their management averages 25 years with the bank. You know these people. You go to church with them. You see them out at dinner. Your kids play with their kids on baseball and soccer teams. And when you have a decision to be made about your commercial loan or your residential loan, who you want making that decision? Somebody in Seattle or somebody down the bayou? And when I say that, and you go, well, I mean, are you sure I want to deal with like just a mom and pop shop for my banking? Not a mom and pop shop. 25 locations, they've got what you need. So if you're a business looking for a loan, First American Bank and Trust. If you're looking for that dream home, you need a loan for that, First American Bank and Trust. All decisions made by people locally in your community, 25 locations in Southeast Louisiana. Go by and see them today, First American Bank and Trust.
Make Raising Cane's the first stop for your second line. Get extra saucy with a Cane's doubloon for just $1 that scores you extra cane sauce through April 3rd with any purchase. Let the good times roll this Mardi Gras with Raising Cane's. One love.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, ironworkers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Friday show is brought to you by Quartz, Cajun fried fish and shrimp. Got a couple of tweets this week asking if Musso and I would do an LSU baseball preview. We filmed it this morning, 10:15 a.m. It will publish on Monday on YouTube. I think it was about 55 minutes or so. We went through the entire roster, offensively, defensively, and on the mound. So if you're looking for LSU baseball content, that's coming your way. I've got a position preview up for first base, second base, third base, left field, center field on LouisianaSports.net. Right now, we'll get into to center field coming up in our next segment to kick off hour number 2. Do right field tomorrow, and then we'll get into the pitching side of things next week. We are a week away from opening day at the Box, LSU and Milwaukee from the Box. Jay Johnson met with the media today. Nothing super significant today, but I'll talk a little baseball coming up in our first segment of hour number 2. All right, Super Bowl is coming up on Sunday, and this is the one day a year that I actually make a wager. I never really do it. College football Saturdays, NFL Sundays. I don't bet college hoops. I don't feel I can beat Vegas. I don't enjoy really watching games with consequential cash on the line. There are plenty of things that aren't great for me that I like to do. Gambling is not one of them. But I just think the Super Bowl, the event of it all, I like to cook and throw $100 on the game. And that's what I'll do on Sunday. So I've got 4 props here that I feel pretty good about. Jordan, you just listened to 2 hours of sports Super Bowl bets, I'm sure, on Live at Lunch.
Really.
So
don't even do 2.
Let's see how this looks by your eye. So I got $100 total, and I'm going to try to capitalize on it.
Okay.
First one, I looked at the anytime touchdown odds. One jumped off the page at me, and I understand why it's there. Plus 480 because he's not a starter. But Travion Henderson gets the ball. He ran for almost 1,000 yards, 911 yards, and 9 touchdowns this year. He doesn't have a touchdown in the postseason. The Seahawks defense is great. I get all the reasons he is plus 480. Ramondre Stevenson's out there. Maybe he sprains an ankle. Maybe he busts a 60-yarder down to the 4, and he needs to come out of the game because he's tired. I think Travion Henderson plus 480, $20 to win 96. Like, I'm talking $100 bet total on these 4 props. If Travion Henderson scores, I'm only $4 away from breaking even right there. So I like that a lot. I like Travion Henderson anytime touchdown plus 480. How do we feel about it?
I hate to say this, but Jimmy's on Ramondre Stevenson.
I'm sure he will, but the odds are shorter.
Okay.
The odds, I can get better odds. Yeah. Ramondre Stevenson's like 3rd on the list.
They're heavy on Stevenson like the whole game.
Okay.
Like they're like it's a Stevenson game.
What if he gets hurt?
Hey, you never know.
What if he gets hurt, huh? I got Travion, second back, 1,000-yard rusher, 9 touchdowns in the season. Give me plus 480 on Travion.
Okay.
All right. This one is interesting. This is about the defenses here. I like Vrabel a lot, and the Seahawks defense is ridiculously good.
Mm-hmm.
If any of the quarters in the Super Bowl, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, any of them are scoreless, plus 250.
I like that bet.
Put 50 down on that to win 125.
That's a good bet. It's a Super Bowl. There's going to be
run the ball.
Yes.
Maybe a long field goal that gets missed.
Would be a slugfest.
Any quarter scoreless plus 250, $50 to win 125.
I like that.
Now, I will hedge against that with my next bet for significantly less money, but I will hedge against that if each team gets a touchdown and a field goal in each half. So both teams have to score a touchdown and a field goal in the first half and the second half.
Okay.
That's plus $1,700. $10 to win 170.
I like the hedge.
So, exactly. I think there's going to be a scoreless quarter, but if we got points, might as well see if I can toss 10 to get it back on the other side. I like that one a lot. I hit this one with the Eagles, and who did the Eagles beat a couple years ago?
The Chiefs?
Yes, I hit it on that one. So I like that one, $10 to win 170. So that's $20 on Travion Henderson, $50 on any quarter to end scoreless.
Yeah, I like that.
Then each team to get a touchdown and a field goal in both halves, $10. And then I got $20 left over.
Yes.
And I started looking around at props. And one of the things I like, I think that the Seahawks are going to win.
Okay.
I think they'll be ahead. I've got Kayshon Boutte over 30 receiving yards in the 4th quarter.
Whoa.
Patriots are down. They got to throw. Give me Kayshon over 30. That's probably 3 catches in the 4th quarter. Plus 640 on that. $20 to win $128.
You sweating. You talking about money. You are sweating your you-know-what off in the 4th quarter if you have that bet.
I mean, I'm just trying. I think that's how the game's going.
Oh, you're a thrill seeker. And
I wanted to get Kayshon involved. I wanted to get Kayshon involved.
You could have done like his over, and that could have been like 2 catches.
I'm trying to get some odds here, Jordan. All of these bets basically either make your money back or more. Like Travion Henderson pays 96. I got 100 down. Yeah. Travion Henderson pays 96. Any quarter scoreless pays 125. The touchdown and field goal in both halves pays 170, and Kayshon in the 4th quarter pays 128. So if any of them hit, I'm back.
I just think that Kayshon one, you are sweating so hard that 4th quarter. Like that 4th quarter, you're like, throw the ball.
If they're down, they're going to throw the ball. They don't have a choice.
But throw him the ball. You got to get him the ball.
If they got 2 drives in the 4th quarter, they chuck it 13 times. I need 3 caught by my guy. I don't need a big play. I need 30 yards. I can get 30 yards on one play.
You're right.
But
you
I probably
could.
need to get 3 10s.
He's a deep ball threat, so it could be all in one play, like you say. It could
We
be
like
one
that.
play.
Hey, and even better, what if? And this is actually I haven't thought about this, but I'm fleshing out in my mind now.
Okay.
Theoretically, the Seahawks dust them. There are people that think the Seahawks are going to blow them out, right?
It could
The
happen.
Seahawks blow them out, and they get back in like prevent because they're up 21 with 10 minutes to go.
Okay.
Well, that's easy money on Kayshawn.
It
if
is.
If you think the Seahawks are going to crush them, then 30 yards in the fourth quarter is going to be child's play. You've all been in a fantasy football game where the guy you're playing against quarterback gets down by 30, and you're like, crap.
The Dak Prescott.
He's about to just start cooking.
The Dak Prescott.
Exactly. So that's why I like it. Give me it. Travion Henderson, anytime touchdown, any quarter to go scoreless. Hedging it, each team touchdown and a field goal in both halves. Kayshawn over 30 in the fourth quarter. I mean, basically, you could put $100 on this and be rich.
I mean, hey, if that's how you feeling, that's how you feeling. I
haven't walked off this set with a Friday gradable paper in 2 months, 3 months really. So now we've got one. We'll be back on Monday and we'll go over my bets. And Jordan will certainly have the buzzer ready for probably all of them. But you can fade me or take them. Pause for Sports Center. We'll come back. Let's talk Derek Curiel next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Maybe watching the Super Bowl. Maybe not eating the most healthy, maybe a little bit nervous about the Super Bowl. None of that is great for the heart. I'll give you a pass on Sunday, but February is Heart Month, and the folks over at Auctioner know that it's a great time to focus on your overall health and wellness. Heart disease is the number one cause of death for men and women, and so often it is preventable. Small, consistent habits can have a powerful impact on your health and wellness. So stay active with exercise, eat fruits, vegetables, whole grains, try to manage your stress, and get enough sleep if you possibly can. You can avoid smoking, limit your alcohol intake. These small steps can lead to a stronger heart tomorrow. Regular checkups absolutely matter. So check in, get that early detection, and get that guidance to keep you on track with a healthy heart. Look, check in with your doctors. Make sure you're on track with a healthy 2026. Auctioner's got locations throughout the state of Louisiana. Check them out online, auctioner.org.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you.
Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca, closing in on the weekend and Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. Patriots and Seahawks playing on the biggest stage in the NFL. New England's defense has led the way on their Super Bowl run, now trying to find some rhythm on offense. ESPN Radio's Chris Canty says offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels will be key on Sunday.
It's up to Josh McDaniels to scheme up open receivers in those soft spots of the zone and allow Drake May to have quick answers in early targets so he can evade that pressure from the Seattle Seahawks defensive front.
Canty on Unsportsmanlike. McDaniels named Assistant Coach of the Year last night. Offseason underway everywhere else. Jim Schwartz resigning as Browns defensive coordinator today, was passed over for the head coaching job in favor of Todd Monken. Has led one of the best defenses in the NFL in his 3 years on the job. The NFL mourning the loss of Hall of Fame QB Sonny Jurgensen at the age of 91. Former Commanders and Eagles QB spent most of his 18-year career in Washington.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Canty. Coming up Monday, we'll recap everything from Super Bowl 60, the game, the commercials, and, of course, Bad Bunny's halftime show. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Waiting to rise again.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for.
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, last hour of the week here on the Hunt Palmer Show. We're brought to you by Cork's Cajun Fried Fish and Shrimp. Trying to watch the game on Sunday. Got a bunch of folks coming over. Don't feel like dealing with the kitchen. Cork can help you. They love to cater. What would be better? Watching the Super Bowl with a big old tray of crispy fried catfish, jumbo Gulf shrimp. They got your honey butter rolls, shoestring fries. Get your crawfish etouffee, baked potatoes as well. All the sauces your heart can desire. It's an awesome opportunity to do some catering on Sunday. Call the folks at Corks today. Tell them you'll be by right before kickoff to grab all that food. They will have it ready for you on Sunday. They love to do it. Their own government between Foster and Jefferson. It'll be a hit if your Super Bowl party has got some food from the folks over at Corks. Check out the menu at corksfishandshrimp.com. All right, my position previews are continuing with LSU baseball. I've done a significant amount. Started with first base, went to second, third, and short. Did left field yesterday with Chris Stanfield. Now we move over to center field, where Stanfield occupied last year. He will not this year. That's where Derek Curiel will play. And look, I don't really get tired of talking about Derek Curiel and just how good a hitter that he is. I've mentioned this a number of times. Players develop at different speeds. I pay attention to this a little bit more closely than most people do or should. And I know how guys do in their first fall, and certainly everybody's aware of how folks do in their first and second seasons. But I can pick out names of guys that develop at different speeds. Matuk is one that I like to talk about because his first fall at LSU was terrible. And then by the time March, April rolled around of his freshman season, so just 4 months later, he was a starting outfielder on a national championship team, got a huge hit in Omaha. And he became SEC Player of the Year, but it took him 6 months to figure out college. Think about Andrew Stevenson, who came in. They told him to go play center field, but he couldn't hit at all. He hit a $150 as a freshman. I watched him try to hit Jonathan Gray in a super regional. He may as well have brought a broom up there. Like, he just no shot. And then he went off to Cape Cod and came back, and 12 months after he started college, he was ready to roll, and he hit in the high 350s as a sophomore. I think about Ty Floyd, he came in and was asked to pitch a little bit on Maneri's last team. And then on Jay's first team, he was okay. Like, they gave him the ball in the regional against Southern Miss, and he was fine. He did okay in his junior year early in the season, but he got hit around a little bit. He didn't become a star until right at the end of his junior year. Now, it came right on time. That's when we needed him to be a star. He set a record for strikeouts in the championship series. Perfect. But it took him 2.5 years to emerge as a star. Everybody comes along at different speeds. And look at guys that were ready right when they showed up. Alex Lang was ready to go. Alex Bregman was ready to go. Dylan Cruz was ready to go. And Derek Curiel was ready to go. He was the leading hitter for LSU in his first fall with the program, and he showed up in his freshman season, and LSU played 68 games. He played in all 68. He hit .345. That led the team. In the NCAA tournament, LSU played 11 games. He hit .390. That led the team. In the Super Regional, LSU played 2 games. He hit .571. He led the team. Right now, he's the best bat-to-ball hitter in college baseball. And he probably was the day he enrolled in his first class at LSU. That's the kind of talent you're talking about with Derek Curiel. So he'll move over to center field. He's added about 15 pounds. He'll look a little bit different if you haven't seen him since they put the oversized T-shirts on at Charles Schwab last June as champs. But you'll recognize him because he'll have that quick, smooth, flat stroke right through the zone. He's got an incredible eye for the strike zone. He draws walks at just a remarkable pace. He hits line drives, falling out of bed. And the thing that I really took note of as I went back to write my preview about Curiel for LouisianaSports.net is all the moments that he provided LSU last year. Like, you remember Jared Jones hitting the walk-off at 1:17 a.m., right? But LSU doesn't even get to the Jared Jones at bat if Curiel doesn't pull a single through the right side with 2 outs, trailing. But he did. He came through and got the hit. In the College World Series, I was on the call for the first game against Arkansas. And Anderson was dealing, and LSU was in control, but it was still tight. And in the 9th inning, Arkansas went to its ace left-handed reliever, Cole Gibler. Runner on second base, nobody from the left side had hit Gibler. I had, in the press box at Charles Schwab, they've got all these advanced stats. And I had Gibler's stats against left-handers. It was like nothing. Nobody from the left side was hitting this guy. Curiel, bang. 2 out, 2 strike, RBI single to the opposite field. Added a run to LSU's lead, 4-1. LSU would nail it down. How about a couple days later when you're trying to win the bracket against Arkansas, the game that went crazy in the last inning, right? Well, LSU was down 5-3 in that game. The ball trickled by Jarrett Jones, and LSU was down 2 runs. And you needed base runners. And with 1 out and nobody on, Curiel reached base with a single. Infield single, but a single. And then you had Fry, Milam, Hernandez clubs it to left field, and Jones walks it off with a line drive. But it started with Curiel. And then the title series. You remember game 1. What do you remember about game 1 of the title series? That Cade Anderson threw a complete game shutout. The final score was 1-0. Derek Curiel scored the 1 run. Game 2. Trying to win a national championship. LSU is up 3-1 in that game. And Curiel comes up, 2 out, 2 on, smokes an RBI single. LSU goes up 5-1 from 3-1, final score 5-3. That's the difference in the game. Time and time and time again. The biggest series that LSU played. Home series against Tennessee. Regional, super regional, College World Series, CWS opener, bracket championship game, College World Series final. No matter what you're looking at, biggest moments of the year, this guy, true freshman, right in the middle of all of it. Now, the question is not whether or not he can replicate it, because that's how he's been a superstar since he was in 7th grade. Team USA, top player in California, projected draft pick. This has been him forever. And he's going to show up, and he's going to hit leadoff on Friday, and he's going to hit a bunch of line drives. He's going to hit 350 plus. He's going to get on base at about a 450 clip. It was 470 last year. If you went over 500 this year, I wouldn't be flat stunned, even though that's really hard to do. That's cruise level stuff. But he's going to do all that. Like last year, he had 12 more walks than second best on the team. He had 5 more doubles than second best on the team in SEC play. He's going to do all that. But does he add power to his game? Does the 15 to 20 pounds he put on translate to 5 or 6 more home runs? He hit 7 last year. Does he get to 15, or is it closer to 5? If it's closer to 5, he's probably like the 12th pick in the draft. If it's closer to 15 or 18, which I really don't see 18, but 12 to 15, if that happens, you're talking about the 3rd pick in the draft. The thing about Curiel with the power is that some folks, when they're trying to add power to their game, they have to cheat. Because they have to cheat to get out in front of the baseball to lift it and pull it out of the ballpark. They don't have the strength to sit back and drive it the other way, which is the better way to hit. It's how Tommy White hit home runs, how Dylan Cruz hit a lot of home runs. It's how Jared Jones hit almost most of his home runs. Sit back, wait, be strong enough to drive it out. Well, Curiel, last year, homer to the opposite field against Texas on the road. Homer to the opposite field in a midweek game against Southeastern. Homer to the opposite field in the Super Regional against West Virginia. As a skinny freshman who only hit 7 homers, he hit almost half of them to the opposite field. So he doesn't have to cheat. He doesn't have to compromise the quality of his swings, the quality of his at-bats, the quality of his approach to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Now, if you hang one, he can pull it out of the yard, but he can still sit back, watch the ball travel, and drive it off the back foot to the alley in left center field or out of the ballpark to left field. That's why I think more power is coming, and that's why I think he'll be a top 10 pick, because I think the power will eventually show up. He's not going to hit 35 in the big leagues, but he can hit 19. And I think in hopefully 65 games this coming season, I think he can hit 12 or 13. And that's a big, big key to LSU's offense. The home run's important. LSU's not going to have a quote-unquote slugger in this lineup. Like Jared Jones is a slugger. Tommy White is a slugger. Gavin Dugas was a slugger. They've had those in the past. This is not that lineup, because I wouldn't call Jake Brown a slugger. I wouldn't call Stephen Milam a slugger, or Derek Curiel a slugger. I'm not calling Zach York a slugger. Trent Carraway could be. That's a possibility. But you've got a lot of guys that have like 9 to 14 home run power. I don't see 20 anywhere. But the home run's important, and if Curiel can add to his total, that's a big deal. He's in a crazy talent. And as I wrote on LouisianaSports.net earlier this morning, when the Jay Johnson era is over, whenever that is, I don't know when it'll be, whenever it is, Curiel will be a defining player in that era. In the way that Aaron Nola and Bregman were for Mainieri, in the way that LeMahieu and Matuk were for Mainieri, in the way that Lang and Poche were for Mainieri. Curiel will be a defining player in the Johnson era. If you go back to Skip, you think about Cressy, and you think about Larson, you think about McDonald, you think about those guys. Curiel is going to be one of those guys in the Jay Johnson era when it's all said and done. It's his last year. He's only going to play 2 years here. But when you get to the box on Friday, or you tune in from work on Friday, or you watch from home on Friday, Curiel will be the first guy up, and I got a hunch he'll get a base hit first at bat of the season. And it won't be his last. He's going to be a star this year. He was a star when he showed up, and excited to watch him move forward in his second and what will be his final season here at LSU. So that's a look at center field for LSU, Derek Curiel. Not really a backup plan there at center field. Stanfield can go if he needs to, but let's just keep 6 over there. All right, we got a lot more to do here over the next 45 minutes of the show, our final 45 minutes of the week. Got to talk about the Super Bowl as well as LSU and Georgia tomorrow in hoops. Stick with us on the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. SwingEasyGCBR.com is the website. Awesome time to go play some golf inside. It's such a cool experience. If you haven't played on a simulator, just go try it. I love it. Of course, I love being out there in the elements. I love being out there with the grass. I love being out there knocking the ball in the hole and everything that goes involved in playing golf. I love it. It's one of my favorite hobbies. But the simulator's a different vibe. You hang out, crank some tunes, you play famous golf courses. You know, they give out that jacket every spring. You can play that golf course. See how you handle those famous holes on the back nine. You can do that. Tee it up, hit a driver. It shows what your carry distance is, where the ball ends up. You get a yardage for your next shot. Stripe an iron up there. You chip, you putt, you card a score. You can do that with your friends over at Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. They'll deliver you a bucket of beers back there. Crank the tunes. You put the TV on. You can watch the Super Bowl from there on Sunday. It's a cool, cool spot. If you haven't done it, check it out. They're on Segan at Perkins. It's Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. Check them out online. SwingEasyGCBR.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Make Raising Cane's the first stop for your second line. Get extra saucy with a Cane's Doubloon for just $1 that scores you extra cane sauce through April 3rd with any purchase. Let the good times roll this Mardi Gras with Raising Cane's. One love.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
At Parrish, we take pride in building roofs that last, because championships are built on commitment, not just on the floor of the court, but your home too.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know each case and client are unique, and that no two cases are the same. But one thing remains constant, and that is our passion to help our clients. After an accident, we know your life has changed, which is why we passionately fight to make you and your family whole. Remember, whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. We're here to serve you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Quirks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
I'll give you my Super Bowl pick coming up in the next segment. I kind of gave it away with my bets at the end of hour number one, but we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth. It is, the biggest football game of the year. This is our last Football Friday, I guess, for a significant amount of time. But I'm looking forward to watching the game on Sunday and haven't quite decided what I'm cooking yet. I think I'm going with a little seafood queso dip.
Okay.
That's what we're thinking about.
Okay, so we had a debate the other day about, like, I ain't gonna say the perfect Super Bowl size, but where do you stand on wings for a Super Bowl? Like, do you feel like that is a side or a main dish?
I think wings are a shareable in a setting like that.
Okay.
A restaurant or a living room. I think if you're a single dude who's just sitting there watching the game and want to just eat 30 wings, that's a meal too. But it's perfectly acceptable to have shareable wings, I think.
I agree with you. Taylor does not. He thinks
What does
wings,
he think?
Oh, he thought wings was like, it doesn't count. He said, you don't go to a restaurant and look at the menu, you don't see a main course of wings. I was like, okay, well, technically you're right, yes.
I gave kind of a ridiculous answer to Marler on that.
Oh,
Did you
Lord.
see mine?
What was your answer? No, I haven't seen it. I'm scared to go look.
Mine's last. He put you in it like 4 times because you gave like a million answers.
Well, yeah, because
he kept coming back to you, kept coming back to you,
we
kept
had a
coming
whole
back to you.
debate out there about the chicken wings things. Like, oh, nah, but chicken wings are not a Super Bowl.
I gave him bone-in ribeye, medium rare.
Oh, my
medium
God.
rare.
Hon. Are you kidding me? Bone-in ribeye
I'm
for the
just
Super
trying
Bowl?
for the entertainment value
Okay.
here. All right, it was not. I knew
my
that
goodness.
was not a side or a snack.
Okay.
But everyone said dip. I was trying to be a little different.
Exactly, but I can't say.
And I think I am having a Sagrera ribeye on Sunday after the seafood queso dip. So we'll see. But before we get to the Super Bowl and the pick coming up in our next segment, I'm not going to try to sell you on LSU basketball making a run here. Y'all realize that, right? I told you must win 2 weeks ago. They lost. I'm done with that. So I'm not selling you a fake bill of goods here. I will tell you, if you want to be entertained, there's a reasonable chance tomorrow's LSU-Georgia game is going to be entertaining. Why do I say that? Well, LSU right now, let me get the up-to-date stat and make sure that I'm right here. LSU, in terms of shooting percentage nationally, is 21st. I think we can agree that LSU is a functional offensive team. They're better with DJ Thomas, clearly. They didn't have him in the last game against South Carolina, and they went up and down the floor and shot better than 55%. And, like, they were scoring at will. McKinnon can get to the rim, shoot the three. Like, they're good on offense. And Georgia is terrible on defense. They've lost 3 straight games. Here are the losses. They lost to Texas and gave up 87 points, 87-67. They lost to Tennessee at home, 86-85. And they lost to A&M 92-77. They also, earlier this season, gave up 97 to Ole Miss, 92 to Florida, and 100 to Auburn. They actually won the game against Auburn and gave up 100 points. They are 252nd in the nation in points per game allowed. 252nd in the country. And LSU's pretty good on offense, so it stands to reason LSU will score some points on Saturday night in the PMAC at 5 o'clock. Now, here's the flip side. You have heard me many, many times say this LSU defense stinks. Absolutely stinks. And, oh, by the way, pulling up the up-to-date stats, if you look at points per game nationally, Georgia is number 1. The top scoring offense in college basketball, the Georgia Bulldogs, 92.3 points per game. Buckle up. It's going to be up and down. There's going to be points flying. I hate LSU's defense. I think Georgia's defense stinks. Georgia's lost 3 games in a row, but if you want to see up and down, you can go see up and down in the PMAC tomorrow at 5 o'clock. It's not going to be Shaq and the folks from Loyola Marymount. Like, you're not going to get that. But it's going to be up and down. I think, personally, this matchup is terrible for LSU. I think it's terrible. I thought they would win at South Carolina. They did in overtime against the worst team in the league. This is at home. It's against a team that's reeling a little bit. Mike White's team is struggling to win games right now. Lost 3 in a row, 2 of them at home. But the selling point I have for this, I'm not going to go into a Georgia scouting report. I'm not going to tell you what LSU needs to do without DJ Thomas. I'm not going to tell you that if LSU can win this game on Saturday, like next week, just look at this Arkansas game at home. No, I'm not doing any of that. I'm going to watch every dribble tomorrow. I'm going to write a story for it, LouisianaSports.net on it, and I hope they win. I'll be pulling for them. I'll probably be nervous in the second half if they're in the game. That's just the way I'm wired. I would not, under any circumstance, tell you should share that emotion. But I am going to tell you, just looking at this game from a analytic-driven perspective, Georgia should score 90 points and LSU should score 85 plus. You never know. Some days the shots aren't falling. But this, if you're just looking for pure entertainment value, at a pretty decent tip time, 5 o'clock on Saturday, that's not going to ruin the middle of your day. You could go out to eat afterward. It's not going to be nuts. You know there's not going to be a ton of traffic in Baton Rouge for basketball. So if you're looking for something to do, it should be pretty entertaining. Look, I've watched plenty of games in the PMAC that have not been entertaining. I've seen plenty of teams grind it out, throw it in the post, can't shoot. And it's possible that LSU has one of those days. Like if you have a McKinnon day where he goes 1 of 9 from 3, well, LSU's not going to score a lot of points. Not without Thomas. But if they play like they did last week, like Georgia's not better than South Carolina defensively. They're way better offensively. And they're going to score a ton of points on LSU. But this should be one that's back and forth. I don't know what the number is on the game. I haven't seen. I guess I can try to look that up. I don't know if they have it published on a Friday afternoon just yet. But I would guess the over-under on this game is north of 170 would be my guess, because that's just what Georgia does. It's the Jaden Daniels, Brian Thomas, Malik Neighbors of college basketball with that defense. That's what Georgia and LSU are. I'm pulling it up. I do not see a number published on the site that I always look at. I'm sure I could find it in the next 35 minutes if I wanted to.
Looking for a line?
Yeah,
for the game?
LSU, Georgia.
1.5 LSU.
Bruh. What?
1.5.
That is such an offense to Georgia. With no DJ Thomas.
1.5 at home.
And maybe he plays. I don't anticipate he'll play. We'll get an availability report tonight. But like, he missed 3 weeks with this injury and re-aggravated it last week just because they had a week off. I don't anticipate he'll be back. But still, that's Georgia being. I would have had Georgia minus 4.5. The way they score. The way LSU defends, which is none. Georgia scored 90 plus in this game for sure.
So you know what that means, Hunt? This is definitely a trap game.
Do you have an over-under on it?
Over-under, I have a total points like over 163.5.
Fade Hunt to gain wealth at all times, but the over is the play there. Georgia is scoring 90. Georgia's going to score 50.5. We already know this. Everyone scores 50.5 on LSU. Everyone. Georgia leads the nation in points per game. You don't think they're going to score 50.5? That is way light on the total. Way light. So I'm passionate about that. If you want to take it and fade, get rich. But that point total is low for me. So LSU and Georgia, 5 o'clock. If you would like to listen, you can on our sister station, Eagle 98.1, Chris Blair and John Brady on the call coming up at 4:30 on Eagle. So it'll be Tigers and Dogs, Mike White and company, trying to right the ship. LSU trying to claw back into it. I'm not falling for that. We'll see. I hope they prove me dead wrong. And I'll be watching. I'll have a story up on .net tomorrow after it goes final. All right, we got 2 more segments to go. Let's pick the Super Bowl, shall we? We'll do that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com, HighlandIG.com. Captives are a big deal. It's the future of insurance, and in many ways, the present of insurance. If your broker has not presented with you a captive option, you may need to look elsewhere. Now, some brokers don't have the capability or the access to captives. Highland Insurance Group does. They're an independent broker. They deal with captives each and every day. If you pay a sizable amount in premium, if you have good loss history, if your risk management is good, and you're a good risk, you may fit into a captive, and that can be a game changer for your insurance program. You join into a group, everybody puts their premiums together, you pay losses out of it, and at the end, you can redistribute things. It's a different way to handle insurance as opposed to just ripping premium checks month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. So let Jonathan Carver and his team come talk to you about captives if you have not heard about them yet. You might have your eyes open to something brand new when it comes to insurance. It's the Highland Insurance Group. You can find them online. Check them out here in Baton Rouge. They're online at highlandig.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me? Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim, which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever
You're listening to The Hun Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Friday show is brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp, delicious crispy fried catfish, jumbo Gulf shrimp, shoestring fries. They got it all for you there, including the hush puppies. I love a good hush puppy. And the Cork sauce over at Corks, perfect with the fish and the shrimp. Size of these shrimp, y'all, are incredible. Get on by and see them. Government between Foster and Jefferson. Like, I'll briefly talk about the breakdown of the game, but I thought a different way to kind of approach the Super Bowl breakdown, and I'm only going to do 12 minutes on it like the entire week, basically. I talked about Will Campbell earlier this week and gave a betting segment, but this is the only time I'm going to talk about the actual game. And I decided to break it down into the three, and I use air quotes lightly here because of one of these, the three people with the most on the line on Sunday. And I'll start at the bottom with number 3 and work up to number 1. Number 3, and the reason I used air quotes, I think it's McDonald and Vrabel. Both of them are on level playing field. They're young coaches. They're defensive guys. They've taken over proud franchises who had fallen back a little bit because the coaches that preceded them had slipped. And they've revitalized the organizations. And I think for them to be Super Bowl champion coaches obviously is a big, big deal. And I think that they are equal in that way. So a huge, huge Sunday for those two. That goes without saying. I think number 2 here is maybe a little bit off the beaten path. I think this is a huge Sunday for Robert Kraft. In the way that Brady cemented himself, leaving the nest and winning in Tampa, in the way that Belichick hasn't, because Belichick, quote unquote, failed in Cleveland and left and then succeeded so highly in, not to diminish Belichick's entire resume, not at all. He's maybe the greatest coach in the history of the NFL, and I don't diminish that because he's not winning a lot of games at North Carolina. I don't care. Nor do I care about his girlfriend or fiance or whatever she is. But to do it without the group that did it together, I think is impactful. And for Kraft to make the decision to move on from Belichick and to make the decision to move on from the bad hire that he made and to go get the right guy and then to get right back into the Super Bowl, that's impressive from an organizational perspective. And owners sometimes are more prevalent than others. You notice some more than others, and Kraft is certainly one of the ones you notice. But for the Patriots to get right back to the Super Bowl almost immediately after Brady and Belichick left and their DNA was gone from the organization, I think is a big deal. So I think for him, he's number 2. And then I can't get behind. I can't move on from number 1. The guy who has the most on the line on Sunday is Sam Darnold. I sat in this very chair. Nope, I shouldn't say that. I was actually across the desk, I think, that day. I was 3.5 feet away. But I hosted Hanging with Hester the day after LSU beat Clemson in the national championship game. And it was a crazy day where we all woke up in New Orleans and we're trying to get back to Baton Rouge to handle radio shows. And the traffic, as you would imagine, was a complete nightmare. And like Jake couldn't get back to do his show. He showed up an hour into it. And I was late and I had to call Cade from I-10 and be like, hey, I'm not going to make it. I don't remember when Jake's show was. I don't know if it was 1 to 3 or I don't remember. I think it was 1 to 3. I was like, I'm not going to make it. And so we had Jimmy, who was doing, I think, Sports Today at the time. Jimmy continued until I got to sit down. But I did the show the next day after LSU beat Clemson. And I remember, because I've gone back and watched that before just to kind of see what my reaction was the next day. And I did it with no real notes because I didn't have time to prep because I was on the road stopped. So I just kind of went for an hour. And one of the segments I did was about Burrow and how Burrow in college at LSU was already better than some of these starting NFL quarterbacks. That he would have gone into their organization that day and been better. And if they had come down to play with that LSU team, that LSU would have been worse. And I didn't have prep done. I didn't have any notes. And I kind of went through and I was like, he's better than some of the quarterbacks playing in the NFL. And one of the names that came right off my tongue was Darnold. Jets. Failure. Top 5 pick. Disaster. And like, not to suggest that Sam Darnold is trying to impress me or that he needs to validate himself to me, but that's just the way that I looked at him in the NFL 2019. We're 6 years later, being that was 2020 in January when I made that comment, and now it's February of 2026. But like, he was a joke at that point. And then he goes to Minnesota and throws for a lot of yards. And they were kind of like, okay, well, yeah, but we're going to draft one. We'll go with McCarthy. Okay. And he goes to Seattle. Now he can cement himself as a great player. I think most people looking at these two quarterbacks would take Drake May in this game. I think most people will take Seattle to win the game straight up. But Darnold can reach a level that's rarefied air. Like, say what you will about Trent Dilfer. Say what you will about Brad Johnson. Are those the guys that are probably the bottom of the rung in terms of Super Bowl quarterbacks? Probably. And they had unbelievable defenses. Those Ravens were incredible. Those Bucks were unbelievable. And this Seahawks defense maybe enters that breath because of this. I don't know how you feel about Jim McMahon as a quarterback and how the 85 Bears propped him up a little bit, but he reaches rarefied air. There's nobody, in my estimation, who Sunday means more to in terms of legacy, career, status, all that, than Sam Darnold. So for me, it's the coaches, it's McDonald, it's Vrabel, it's Kraft running that ship in Foxborough and getting it back up and running to this speed that quickly after those two legends of the game left. And then you got Sam Darnold, who's got a chance to prove a lot of people, me very much included, dead wrong. You got an agreement or disagreement with any of that, Jordan, before I pick this game and tell you what I think is going to happen?
I don't necessarily have that because it's the Super Bowl, and at the end of the day, you can really just flip a coin and be like, this team going to show up, this team going to show up. Nobody thought that the first play, think about the Seahawks. Nobody thought the Peyton Manning one, the first play was a safety.
Yeah.
So it's like we can sit here and do all this, and you can go out there and the first play is a safety, and then just the floodgates open up. So that's why I'm just like, I could see a world where Sam Darnold changes. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think the Patriots were the team he saw the ghost or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
So seeing ghosts out there.
So he can have, rewrite a story. I can see that, and I can also see it in a world where the Patriots really are the evil empire, and they're just going to keep doing it. So I can't disagree because it's like I see both sides.
It takes elite quarterback play to hang in with Seattle.
Yeah.
Now Stafford did it.
He's elite.
He's elite. He's the MVP of the league. And some others have done it, but they've swallowed some others whole. And I think if given representative protection and skill players, Drake May could hold his own as a player. I don't know if he has that. And that's why on Tuesday, I gave you 10 minutes on how important this is for Will Campbell. And I told you that I don't know Will Campbell personally, but I've spoken with him on a number of occasions. And I've heard him talk on a number of occasions, and I've watched him play on a lot of occasions. He will not be scared. He will not be intimidated. The question is, as a rookie in the National Football League in the Super Bowl against the best defense in the league, is he good enough today to hold his own? And I think that question is very legitimate. And there is a world where he can't hold up, and that Patriots offensive line can't hold up. And we have seen Super Bowls decided by pass rush. The Giants against Brady, Holmes down in Tampa against the Bucs could not function because they were all over him. And if that's the case with May, you may think he's the best quarterback in the NFL right now, or may have played the best football in the NFL this year, even better than Stafford. There are people that think that, and there's data-driven research that would suggest that. But if he's not protected, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You cannot play with a cloudy pocket and on your back. You cannot play from 2nd and 14. You cannot play when they're blitzing you on 3rd and 11. You just can't win that way. So I think there are a lot of interesting storylines. I think this is a good Super Bowl matchup. I've heard some people say they're not anticipating it very much. I am. I think it's going to be really good. But I said that last year, and everybody was sick of those two teams, and I wasn't. The game wasn't any good, but I was excited to watch it, and I'm excited to watch it on Sunday. But I think the Seattle defense is too good. And I don't know if Will Campbell can hold up, and I think May will be under too much pressure, and I don't think the Patriots are going to score a lot. And so eventually the dam's going to break, and I think eventually Seattle will prevail. I think Seattle prevails by 2 scores. I don't know if it's 14, if it's 9, if it's 10, if it's 11, but I think they win by 2 scores. I don't anticipate the Patriots having the ball with a chance to win it, but I certainly hope that's the case. I got it. I haven't actually thought about this, but now I'll kind of put it down. I've got it 27-17. That's kind of where I am. I think Seattle wins it with that defense that's just too good.
Yeah, I'm not a real big score guy, so I can't do the scores, but I definitely believe that the Seahawks will get the W. It's just the Patriots, they're in a situation where they're just going to have to show me. Like Drake May, I didn't really was that big of a believer throughout the season, even though he was my fantasy quarterback, so I kind of was riding his coattail a little bit. Yeah, I was riding the Drake May wave for a little bit, but at the same time, I feel like the Patriots have so many answers still that they haven't answered. Like they haven't. There's so much I still don't know about them. Even though you play who you play, but the Will Campbell aspect, how is that pass rush going to hold up? I mean, it's so much that goes into that. I think the Patriots defense is a lot better than people give them credit for, but the Seahawks snap like that, they can score. Yeah. Snap like that, they'll score again. Snap, Rashid Shaheed, 99-yard punt, kickoff return. So I think for the Patriots, the only way they can win this game, it has to be ugly. You have to stay in the game. Do not let the Seahawks get these explosive plays, and that's the only way. It's going to be, like you said, the fourth quarter come down, even though you're the flip side of that. But the fourth quarter is going to have to come down, and they have to be in the game. If they're not, it's just Seattle's just too much. They're wagging.
Yep, they're real good. There's no question about that. I saw an interesting thing, speaking of Will Campbell. LSU football put an Instagram story out earlier today, and they put a big jar of blue marbles, and then they had 2 empty jars. One had a Seahawks logo on it, one had a Patriots logo, and you drop by, you put one marble in the bucket you think's going to win.
Good content.
And one of the Bordelon brothers, I don't know which one it was, who obviously played with Will Campbell, picked up the big jar of marbles and just poured them all in the Patriots thing. So
respect.
He's riding with this guy. I believe it. We'll see. Super Bowl kickoff on Sunday. We'll have a whole Otterlocks page for all your bets coming up on LouisianaSports.net. So looking forward to that. Speaking of Super Bowl, Matt will drive you home from San Francisco coming up in 15 minutes from Radio Row. We got to close things out. Let's do so next on The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Get that Boudreaux's boost. Well, what's the Boudreaux's boost? Well, if you've bought a Generac home standby generator and you didn't buy it from Boudreaux's, but you're not thrilled with the service, well, you can get Boudreaux's to take over that services. You need your generator to be up and running. And Boudreaux's Electrical Services can monitor that Generac home standby generator at all times. So they'll know if it's up and running and it's functional, if it's ready to spring into action when you need it, because you never really know when you're going to need it. The customer service is the difference with Boudreaux's Electrical. Neil and Melissa have been running this shop for more than 40 years. They're born and raised in Louisiana, and they're here to help the people of Louisiana with those home standby generators. So give them a call. The original location, 985-397-1562. Gonzales location, 225-300-9389. Check them out online, boudreauxelectrical.com. Get that generator installed today if you don't have one. Just give yourself the peace of mind that the power's not going to go out on you. What you would hate to have happen is trying to watch the Super Bowl, storm blows through, which is not supposed to happen on Sunday, incidentally. But if it were, and you lose power, can't have it. Have that generator spring to life and power your home. From the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical. You can find them online at boudreauxelectrical.com, boudreauxelectrical.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
At Hood Dental Care, giving back and spreading smiles is what we love most. This Valentine's Day, we're inviting you to help us change someone's life with our Valentine's Day Smile Giveaway. Do you know someone who deserves a smile makeover? Nominate them today. Just visit the Hood Dental Care Facebook page and fill out the entry form. Submissions are open now through February 13th. One special winner will be chosen and announced on Valentine's Day. It's the Hood Dental Care Valentine's Day Smile Giveaway. Good luck!
Championships are won with preparation, and so are great roofs.
Coach is tough on us about preparation, and Paris brings that same championship mindset. Do business with someone you know.
Paris Construction and Roofing.
ParisGroup.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Corks, Cajun fried fish and shrimp.
Reading a review from Beth on onebathandclosets.com. So we had our old garden tub and walk-in shower removed. It was replaced with a big double shower and beautiful built-in cabinets where our old walk-in shower was. It was completed in 5 days, start to finish. They did an amazing and wonderful job. Highly recommend One Bath and Closets. Another review from Creighton says David and his team did a fantastic job with his and hers closets, have a unique footprint. They figured out that we're very pleased with the result. If you need the most out of your closet space, David is the one to call. There are tons of 5-star reviews on onebathandclosets.com. And you can just click the button that says, I'm ready for a bathroom transformation right there. And you can sign up for the free in-home consultation. If you're looking for a new bathroom or a new closet customized exactly the way that you're looking for, and you want somebody to do it right the first time and leave the competition behind, how about David Vaughn and One Bath and Closets? You can find them online at onebathandclosets.com. All right, we're about done here on this Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Corks brings you our Friday shows. Check out that menu, corksfishandshrimp.com. Always, always, always invite you to check out their catering options, and maybe no better weekend than this weekend with football coming at you on Sunday. If you're having some folks over at the house, want to keep the kitchen relatively clean and just get some delicious food, how about that fried catfish? How about those jumbo Gulf shrimp, shoestring fries? Everybody's happy, and you can watch the game and throw it all out when you're done. It's corksfishandshrimp.com is the website. They bring you our Friday shows each and every week. All right, take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so this one's going to be a little wacky, especially if we're going to talk about the NBA. So veteran guard Mike Conley Jr. is reportedly expected to end back up with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And if you don't know, he was traded from the Timberwolves to the Charlotte Hornets on Tuesday. So then he was traded from the Hornets on Tuesday. Then he was traded from the Hornets to the Bulls and then released. So Mike Conley, bless you. So Mike Conley, listen.
I was muted.
Yeah, I was muted. Right. I didn't know. That was a good sneeze. Mm-hmm. So basically, look, Mike Conley was traded again, released. Now he's back with the team that traded him on Tuesday.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Exactly.
I don't understand the NBA. Everybody's traded all the time. Everybody's trading 50 draft picks at a time.
With protections.
I can't figure the NBA out. It's a circus. I feel like when I was a young buck watching the NBA, like, I kind of knew this guy plays for that team, this guy plays for that team.
Yeah.
Now you play for 3 teams, including one twice in 1 week. I don't know. Whatever.
No, that's basically the NBA summed up right now. So in the 2018 NFL draft, you remember that was Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Lamar Jackson. Those are the quarterbacks selected.
The Rosen one. Is he still in the league? Can't be.
No, he's an insurance salesman. No, it's not even a joke. Like, he's actually an insurance salesman.
Excellent.
So it's now we're looking at Sam Darnold as being the only quarterback to reach a Super Bowl and has the opportunity to actually win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So are we going to be looking back? Is this the Sam Darnold draft? Take it or leave it. Ooh.
I mean, no. It's going to be the Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson draft, but Darnold, they have more jewelry than both of them. So that's
We'll take a little bit. We'll take a little bit of both. So okay, listen to this one. So the Cleveland Browns, we already knew they hired Todd Monken as a new head coach.
Yep.
And Jim Schwartz wanted the job. Well, today he's put his papers in to resign from the defensive coordinator's position. So the Browns running a good organization at this point. I mean, what's going on over there?
Well, I will leave that. I mean, we'll leave that for sure. But I'm not gonna freak out because they didn't hire the guy that with the they got to run the organization, do what they think is best. It's not like the Luka trade where you had the best thing and you ditched it. Like, they're trying to figure things out, and like Jim Schwartz was part of the franchise that wasn't any good. Now, not his fault they stink on offense, but look, I'm not going to let a defensive coordinator hold me hostage.
That is a good way to look at it.
Yep.
I'm about to say, because again, it's the Browns. They still have a good defense. You can just get somebody else to come in there and.
You know what I could
Myles
do?
Garrett.
Hey, Miles, go sack the quarterback.
I'm about to say. It ain't really much
I
to
don't
it.
mean to denigrate. He's got a great defense. That was very unfair, but still. Having Myles Garrett helps your defense.
Oh, yeah, you know.
This just in.
You know, a guy can get 23 sacks. I think that helps the defense out a lot. So that's it for Take It or Leave It.
All right. That's it for Take It or Leave It. That's it for us on a Friday. Baseball fans, I've got preseason position previews up at LouisianaSports.net for free. Musso and I cut a season preview today. It'll be up on YouTube on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube stream on Monday morning, so you can check that out. If you missed any of today's show, catch it on demand wherever you find your sound. We talked some LSU football with Preston Guy. You can find that at Hunt on LSU. Also heard from Lane Kiffin a little bit earlier. Played some of that sound as well. Talked a little Saints with Drew Brees at the top of the show. You can find that at Hunt on Saints. Matt's got 3 more hours to go from Radio Row in San Francisco. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Have a safe and beautiful South Louisiana weekend. We'll see you Monday.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. FabryChevrolet.com is that website. Highway 61 in St. Francisville. What a great afternoon. What a great day tomorrow to get out there and walk the lot in St. Francisville at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They've got amazing deals on their trucks this month. February, trucks. Looking to get into a Chevy Silverado up to $11,000 off MSRP or 1.9% APR financing. Looking at a Sierra on the GMC side, up to $13,000 off of MSRP or 0.0% APR financing. You can also find the Chevy Tahoes. You can get into the Yukon or Denali on the GMC side. Go by and see them on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. You know what you're going to get with the Fabry family. Incredible customer service and a loaded inventory at Fabry Chevrolet. Check them out online at FabryChevrolet.com.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders.